Hello, listeners, and welcome back for episode 2 of Veteran Solidarity. To recapitulate of episode 1, we identified the correct VSO, the Orange County VSO, that can be contacted at 714-480-6555. Send them your DD-214 and your list of information for which is service connected, because the VA will be able to look that up, confirm it, and that will equate to your disability rating. I will seem biased or opinionated when it becomes to pro VA support. This is because I have the progressive neurological disorder, and the VA has shown me that they are hands down the most effective, hospital in the world. Everywhere in the world that a veteran lives, the VA has a clinic. This should tell us with absolute confirmation that the VA is the medical branch of the military. They're there for us in every step of the way, brothers. So show them the respect. Again, the majority of VA employees are veterans themselves. So treat them as your brothers or sisters, because they're going to be there for you in the ways so many members of your family never tried to be. Now, talking about that, I mentioned the VA because I would like to promote us considering the VA to be our patriarchs as veterans. Many of us were raised in single-parent households, primarily because our biological fathers may or may not have been around at any point. But for this reason, following the 1980s nuclear family construct, we were taught that the man's supposed to be the breadwinner and go to your dad if you want your allowance. Well, the VA is who can give us our allowance now. But just like our dads, we have to go to the VA, explain ourselves, and show what we have done to earn the benefit we're requesting. The benefit we're requesting will be fiduciary because the VA does nothing better than take care of its veterans. This is evidenced when you consider the homeless veteran benefit. Should they fall upon hard times and wind up homeless, worst case scenario, they can just stay at the homeless shelter for the evening. In the morning, take the letter they received from the homeless shelter validating they stayed there overnight, and the VA will give them a homeless veteran benefit. This benefit currently pays a rate of $3,000 a month, tax exempt. With the VA specifically, understand you have to bring them the paperwork. Show them a letter from a homeless shelter that you're staying there that validates to the VA that you're homeless. Now, you'll ask to talk to a social worker, because the social worker is able to enter into the system you provided a homeless validation letter. The VA will pay the homeless veteran $3,000 a month, every month from that point moving forward. Now, every realtor in the area, a good friend of mine is a real estate agent, so I confirmed this. Every realtor in the area knows the homeless veteran benefit, and provided your rent is less than the benefit pays, they'll let you move in there. In California, maybe you can or cannot afford a 2-bedroom apartment. This state's a little bit more expensive, but move to where you can afford to live, just like our family should have taught us from the beginning. Financial maturity, that thing they don't teach us in boot camp. But yes, so I had the opportunity over the last few days helping an elderly lady. She's married to a veteran. He's 89 years old and suffering dementia. Now, I'm talking to her and I'm saying, okay, well, your husband's suffering dementia. He's 89. My wife's grandfather's suffering dementia. He's not even a veteran. What's it matter? She says, well, when he was in the Korean War, he got hit with a grenade and he had to spend 2 weeks in a coma. Wow, you know what? Right there, your dementia is service connected because of the head trauma. So you want to talk to the VSO. There are these things available to you as veterans, to us. Some people say it's difficult to work with the VA and they feel like they are locked out. The VA is an authoritarian regime, I've heard it called. But that's not quite hitting the nail on the head right there, brothers. The VA is a federal agency. They have to follow a strict set of guidelines. Okay, and it goes like this. If there's a rule at one VA clinic somewhere in the country, it has to be that rule for every VA in the world. So we may not realize why that rule exists, but rest assured, it's tied to a veteran who came before us. How do you get connected with your benefits if they're an authoritarian regime? By showing respect first, letting them know what you're going through, and then talking to the VSO I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. This VSO will be mentioned by me with regular occurrence as I'm making efforts to get to host an employment specialist with them, just so that veterans can hear from the specialist what degrees are really paying off and what quality of life looks like with those degrees. This is information that we weren't provided while we were in the military, nor on the way out the door. We were really focused on the paychecks we could get with whatever. But, I've been around. I worked a few different places. Aside from being in the military, I'm sure you would agree with me. Not every job is as desirable as we thought it was. Yeah, maybe it's making more money than we ever made before, but what quality of life, things do we have to sacrifice for the money? So, talking to the employment specialists who can answer those questions for us will be key. So, say again, look on the VA as our patriarch, because when the going gets tough, they were the only guys that reached down and helped me up by my hand when I wound up in the gutter. There are all these different things that because we served, we are eligible for. Veteran Solidarity is a nonprofit. We're a validated 501c3. The goal of my nonprofit is to house homeless military families. That was the reason why I pursued a master's degree in social work. I've been homeless off and on my whole life. And joining the military, as I mentioned earlier, I don't come from a healthy family construct. And the military proved itself to be the only family that I ever would have. My brothers that I served with in uniform are my wife's godfathers and uncles, aunts. The military gave me a sense of belonging and togetherness that I never knew before the military. And, with what the military gave me, the VA has given me more. And the EDD, they helped me get my job with the county. It took over 4 hours to fill out the application for that job. My visual impairments, I'm totally blind, by the way, I could not do that, but the VA employees sat patiently by my side and helped me complete the process. I mean, if that doesn't speak to the state's commitment to helping us, and again, what I learned with the EDD is if it makes money, it pays taxes. If it pays taxes, it answers to the EDD. You want information about resources? Start with the people that control the resources you want. So go to the EDD for financial advice. The EDD, I mentioned it last week, I say again this week, because they have specialized programs via the Workforce Investment Act. You go in there, you let them know you're a veteran. They'll connect you with employment resources. They'll connect you directly with employers in the area. And in many cases, well, I was surprised for myself to learn as a veteran, I was a federal employee while in the military. And that makes me eligible for special consideration for other federal jobs. Remember the benefits that we talked about. If you're at wit's end, brothers or sisters, you wind up homeless, you're on the street, go to the VA, go to the EDD. Between the two of them, you'll be enjoying a quality of life the likes of which you did not imagine possible.